about it. Let's talk 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 about it. On the Vera Time Show. Let's talk about it.
Hello, hello, hello. Well, I'm excited today. My guest is Endre Hoffmann, and he's known as the Doctor of Self Worth. So I'm going to pull him up and I'm going to share his bio and then I'm going to give him the stage. How are you today?
Hey, thanks, Vera. I'm so glad to be here and hopefully help many people with my experiences from life. I want to make that nice and short.
Yes, well, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm going to take a few minutes and share with our audience more about Endre Hoffmann. Endre Hoffmann, known as the Doctor of Self Worth, helps business leaders and individuals who experience inner struggle, self doubt, feeling exhausted from working hard, and plagued by negative thinking. He removes the internal conflicts and struggles from their mind to achieve confidence and inner peace rapidly. Creating rapid psychological transformation is his passion. He reconnects his clients with three continents to their authentic leadership and naturally high self-worth. His clients unlock their emotional freedom and multiply their impact on business and life. By gaining a new self image, they tap into their true genius and purpose. He loves changing minds, changing lives. What is unique about him? A free experience and a guarantee of transformation. Download a copy of his ebook and see how to discover your authentic self faster than you ever thought possible. Well, I am honored to have you here, and we're going to talk about how do you develop that self worth just like that? How do you do that? But before we talk about it, I'd like for you to share with our audience more about you. Who is Endre Hoffmann?
What a great question. It wasn't a rapid experience, unfortunately. It took me 34 years to dig myself out. And uh, unfortunately, it started as a difficult childhood, uh, less than optimal connection with my dad. Uh, Things went pear-shaped or very difficult. Walking on eggshells pretty much at home. My dad was highly critical. All I remember that was always called out what I haven't done right, haven't done good enough, or or things I didn't know I should have done. And and our relationship was plagued by these patterns of never achieving enough, never doing enough, and my compensation was probably at one point deciding that I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve his love or his attention. He was too busy doing his business, and I became a high achiever. I became a high achiever, and I was doing sports. I was excelling at school uh, from this wound that I've been carrying after that for the next 30 years. Uh, I've been the best grades in school, obviously, to prove myself pretty much in any time, anywhere, to anyone. Uh, I've been running marathons to maybe impressing my dad and my grandfather. They never had these words of congratulations or well done in their vocabulary. Uh, I was doing long distance swimming. I became a national champion in basketball at age 14 with the team. So I was really doing my best to be seen, to be heard, and to be recognized or appreciated. But with the environment that I had, it really felt like looking for water in the desert. And it evolved into being disconnected from myself. I didn't know who I was or about my values. And when it came to the let's pick a job or what to do with my life, I hadn't had a clue. The only idea I came up with at age sort of 18, 19, that probably I should earn a lot of money because I don't know who I am or what my life is about. It's better if I have money. If I have no money and no idea what to do, it's even worse. So I ended up working in banking for 5 years, but I knew that's not the final place for me, and I wanted to uh, discover myself and get answers about my life, but especially around this psychological struggle that I've been carrying around. This feeling of what is my life about? Why I'm here? What am I supposed to do? What what what's this game of life? And that took me out of Central Europe, Hungary, where I was born, and I lived in Ireland for 1 year. Then I moved to New Zealand for 7 years. My mind has probably decided to put as much distance as possible between my dad and myself, because in my in the years from sort of when I was 14 to 18, we had a few physical clashes. He was quite flaring up a few times, and I was challenging him on certain things that he did with my mom. Very controlling person. So yeah, our relationship has become a physical and emotional abuse, and and I wanted to be away from him forever. And my mom wasn't really happy about my move to New Zealand and Australia, but that is the farthest point on earth. Uh, and the patterns kept me in in the same loop. Unfortunately, relationships I felt rejected in in many relationships with women, uh, and that's what happened in New Zealand. 3 months after we moved there, we wanted to start a new life with my girlfriend. She left me. She found someone else, uh, and I was ditched. And later on, um, I decided to travel even more, find maybe spiritual gurus to tell me what's wrong with me or what I have not been able to see, my blind spots. And it didn't go too well. I traveled 70 countries and I attended lots and lots of personal development events. Uh, that cost me about $100,000. Uh, I would say probably the biggest names that rings a bell for you: Tony Robbins, John DeMartini, uh, T. Harv Eker. My goal was to earn a lot of money, to feel safe, to feel secure. And I believe these events been, let's say, beneficial, but it didn't address my problem, the limitations that I was carrying. So I probably have wasted a lot of money and time for 34 years because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to zero on in a subconscious mind to get to the cockpit, to reset identity and reset what one deserves and what one believes about self. And this is how I ended up in learning, studying, experimenting with self worth. And then I failed when I moved back to Europe. I failed on a few businesses because of these patterns of not deserving, unworthiness, or this, probably I was fear of failure, fear of success. I was carrying all of these, and having to work hard was keeping me in this loop of repetition. So I failed on those businesses, and then eventually 2012, when I had the second child coming in my life, we moved to Australia, and merry-go-round. and and it's got to the point of I worked 12-hour days, and the environment was telling me now it's about earning money, it's about getting married and retire at one point, and I could not accept that. I
You're
worked
breaking.
12-hour
You're
days,
break.
and I had this side hustle.
and you're breaking up. Um,
Disconnection from my children.
we're having a connection
To
problem,
divorce.
Andre.
That
Andre,
really,
can you hear me? Can you
I
hear
can.
me? Okay, we're having some connection part problems, and some of what you said, which is so important, we lost. Um, we heard now. Okay, so let me just ask some questions. First of all, congratulations in overcoming all all the trauma that you experienced as a child. I can relate to some things that you've experienced. You said one of the things you said is that you wanted to get as far away from your father as you possibly could. So you went all the way to the other ends of the world. Is your father still alive?
No, he died in with his psychological problems. I believe he manifested deadly diseases, three or four of them, and then he never wanted to look into the mirror, change, and I believe he has run out of time.
Okay.
Cancer, heart
Then
disease.
Oh, wow. Well, and see, people don't understand a lot of illnesses that we do have are a direct result of our mindset and how we perceive the world and how we perceive ourselves. And so self worth is so critical, such a critical thing. And I hope you don't mind me asking more questions regarding your journey and how you were able to overcome these things. And you talked about going to all these self help gurus, but they weren't giving you what you needed to get that self worth. And people, one of the reasons I work with parents and children is just for the reason of people like you and me, because I fall in the same category. You know, and when you consider that 64% of adults who have unresolved issues, it stems from their childhood. And so that is why it is so critical that we as parents recognize how we are impacting the lives of our children. But most cases, because of that 64% that are parents who have their own unresolved issues, you can't teach what you don't know. And so I would venture to say that your father had a lot of unresolved issues of his own that caused him to respond, react, and relate to you the way that he did. But as children, we don't know that. We just get that sense of I'm worthless, I'm nothing, I'll never be anything, because that's what we hear. Those were things I heard. You know, so I truly understand why you do what you do. But as you were going through your journey, what was that pivot? What was that light bulb moment that changed your perspective of yourself?
I was just coming to that. That morning, my wife asked me whether is it time for us to divorce, and I looked into the mirror and I realized I became pretty much a copy of my dad, and I went as far as I could physically, geographically, and I was trying to do the opposite things. Yet I recreated that angry person who was hating himself, hating working hard, and we had that night. I had this get together time with my kids, and I always allowed them to slap me in the face if I was falling asleep, and it again became a slapping competition.
Oh, wow.
Something must fundamentally change because now I'm at the point of losing my wife. My children were lost because I was not physically I was present, but I didn't have time for anything.
How old are your
And
children?
that's it.
How old are your children?
This happens now. They are 11 and 15, but this happened 6 years ago.
Okay,
So
but you were
what
able,
was
You were able to have your children, you allowed your children to express to you how you were impacting them. Is that what you did?
Oh, I didn't have that awareness. No, I knew how bad or how incapable that I was, and at that point, I my wife asked me, when are you going to stop this madness, this going into these events and spending all this money for nothing because we believe you're never going to change. Now that really hurt me. And I said, I don't know when it came from. I said, I will never going to finish this because I believe we have somewhere in the future a new version of our lives where we connect, we love each other, and we can have time together and presence and more joy. And she said, well, we don't believe that it's ever going to happen. That's what the last 10 years showed us. And at that point, I was under so much pressure because my health was deteriorating too. So more areas of the lives. And I decided I gave up all of these long list of goals that I've never achieved. And I said, this is my last single goal for the rest of my life, to resolve this trauma with my dad, whatever it is, and to become maybe an inspiring person for myself and hopefully for others and hopefully for my kids. And within 3 to 6 months, it's interesting, 34 years of struggling through this. And within 3 to 6 months, I found let's call him a transformational coach who had the tools which I have today to access the limitations, to access the the wrong programming, the wrong conditioning, and help me to remove it. And and that has led to the brand that you see today, the Doctor of Self Worth. And ever since I pivoted, I've been helping people in groups and in one-on-one settings. I love these one-on-one conversations that I give away for free, where I troubleshoot. I look at someone and work out how has he or she been creating the problems that they have, and then we start to undo it. I mean, that is so much fun because these people are all creators, yet they have not been aware of how they are creating personal relationships or or business results or lack of results. So I get so excited about changing minds and changing lives because the external tends to play and respond fairly fast in a few weeks or in a few months. I'm sorry, that was a long answer.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. I feel your purpose and your passion. And the thing is, we are so in sync and aligned in that area, being able to see people transform their lives. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And when you've got the tools to enable people to do that, that's a wonderful thing. And I know you have a couple of books. I'm going to pull those up. But before I do have a commercial that I'm going to play, and then we will come right back. So give me 1 second here, and then we'll be right back.
Let me introduce you to ChatBridge. It's a revolutionary new solution for getting great results from your online networking. Today, online networking has become the standard for millions of professionals. However, getting results from your meetings can be a daunting task. But now that challenge has been solved. Everyone knows how hard virtual meeting follow-up is. You go to an online meeting where at the end, people say save the chat to follow up. And now you have a nearly unusable and ugly chat text file to work with. You can now say goodbye to the hassles of downloaded Zoom-type chat records. For the first time, with the introduction of this new ChatBridge tool, you have a simple system to easily import, search, review, follow up, and find opportunities with the people you meet in all of your virtual networking meetings. And we also made it easy to archive all of your chat files and information on the people you met networking for future use. And it doesn't stop there. With ChatBridge, When you select people to follow up with, you can view their exact posts and even click into their website, LinkedIn profile, or Facebook page if they shared it. Then you can import your selected contacts into the powerful EngagePro system or export your contacts to your CRM, email tool, or autoresponder. Following up and getting great results from online networking is now easy and just a click away. Experience the power of the new Chat Bridge, and you'll quickly see how to find new clients, get more referrals, speaking opportunities, and JV partners. There's nothing like it. Find out now how economical and easy it is to get the results you want from online networking at chatbridgeconnect.com.
Let me tell you, ChatBridge is an awesome tool. If you do a lot of networking and you save the chat, this is the best thing that could happen. It is a game changer. It will organize your chat Zooms by alphabetically, give a column for the phone number and the links, and it is amazing. One link, one click, and you've got your stuff organized, and you're shaking your head. So obviously you use ChatBridge as well. Okay, he's frozen again. But anyway, I've put the link in the comments for a free test run. You do not want to not have ChatBridge. If you do a lot of networking and save the chat, you want to try ChatBridge. And again, this is a free test run, so go at it. It's a wonderful thing. All right, now Andre, do you use ChatBridge? Because I saw you shaking your head.
I've heard about it. I'm planning to. Yes, I've heard many
Okay,
good things about it.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, copy this link and do a free test run. Okay, it is truly amazing. It is amazing. All right, so let me remove that. And we had a couple of comments that came in that I do want to acknowledge. Andre, she says, hi, Catalin Caricus. She says, hi, Andre. Well, thank you, Catalin, for listening today. And please share and tell other people to come and watch, because we're talking some very valuable things to help parents, help businesses, help individuals to gain their self-worth, to understand their self-worth. And when you've gone through a whole lot of things in your childhood, it's hard. It's hard unless you have some guidance, some tools, and I'm here to help with that guidance and tools. Andre is here to help with that guidance and tools. We can make a difference in our own lives once we recognize awareness precedes change. And when we know better, we do better. So, Andre, I know you had a story you wanted to share. So let me bring you back on up front.
Yeah. So in the middle of this struggle that I had, I think the last straw was my son, who was a very skilled soccer player here in Australia, right? And it looked like he has not been able to trust his teammates. In a whole year, he hasn't scored any goals, and he was really troubled about this whole uh, the missed opportunities. And he was telling me himself that he can't trust his teammates. And obviously, I was getting to become a coach at that point, and I knew probably it's not about the teammates; it's about himself. And and the reason why I'm telling this story, because I still had so much unawareness, and if I didn't have this transformational mindset coach around, probably I would still be stuck in trying to fix my son. But it wasn't about my son. When I get to see my mentor, he had pretty much one question. Uh, he asked me, "Is his father scoring goals in life?" Well,
Wow.
I did not want to be there at that point, because I realized I have not taken charge. I haven't taken leadership, and I was still not believing in myself. I was not trusting myself that I can actually break out of my own life. And and when I did, when I realized this is a reflection of my own self, my own son plays out in front of me, lack of self-belief, lack of trusting himself, lack of trusting his teammates, I was able to shift this. And the next year, he became, yeah, a little hero, scored 5 goals, and it's been a happy chappy ever since.
So what did you do? What did you do? And before we do, oh, okay, I've got another Mama Knows. Yes, I have a commercial for her. Wow, yes, wow. Thank you for being here. Please share this with others because this is a very important topic. Thank you for being here, Pamela. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
So that's all. I had several other instances where the problems, the so-called problems with my kids,
Yes,
has been a message for me to change. And I believe you made a reference before to illness and sickness. And like since then, I believe, since my father died, I believe that sickness and illness is a message from the soul to look at things another way, look at probably releasing some of those emotions, or let's say unresolved thoughts or negative patterns that have created the issues in the first place, and they had been created for a long time, because a one negative thought will not make you sick, but if you rehearse it every day,
right.
and if you attach
Compound.
a bit of hurt and shame or anger or frustration or fears around it, yes, it's going to make you sick. And what I
Yes.
usually say, it's not the question of if you get sick, it's the when it's
When,
going to
yes.
happen, because it disrupts your energy fields. And remember, under the quantum microscope, we are not solid. And if all we are is energy, then you bring that negative energy into your life, you're hanging on to it, well, it will eventually.
It can't help. It can't help but make you sick. It cannot help. And you said another thing that was really important. You said your son was basically a reflection of you. And people don't understand. Children grow to be what they see, what they see. And what you saw was stuff from your father that you ended up not even desiring to be like him. You probably grew up and said, I'll never be like him. But yet it was ingrained in you unaware, and you begin to take on that same persona. I do want to ask you, did you forgive your father?
I did i did uh, i i was just not aware. I didn't know that at that point. And for the next 30 years, that pretty much unconscious mind or subconscious mind, they call it, they run people's lives. And that self-worth, self-identity piece, which is a blueprint for getting results in every area of life. So if there is a reflection outside a problem, then the work is usually not outside. The work
Right,
is
it's in
shifting the
here.
patterns inside, and that translates into new emotions, new thoughts, new communication, internal and external, and new results on the outside. So this is why I kind of love to shortcut things for people.
Awesome. Do you mind sharing? I'm going to pull up your book right now. But my question is, do you mind sharing what happened? Oh, I was trying to put this in the comments and I put it in another area, but you said new thoughts, new emotions, new transformation, right? New
Absolutely.
emotions, new results, new transformation.
I believe,
Awesome.
yeah, I believe if you are a parent and you're listening to us here today, really look at yourself under a microscope and have a look what is going on Where are your troubles and challenges? Because these are the pivoting points. If you're able to, because most people do not learn or learn really slow because they haven't got help or guidance. But if you're able to shift yourself, then people tend to shift around. And this is, I'm talking about relationships with parents,
Yes.
relationships with your children. You
Yes.
become a more authentic version of you. And
Exactly.
you
And
take this.
I want to respond to our audience here. She says a lot of people have been through things that they will do any and everything possible to not let happen to their children. Absolutely. And unfortunately, if parents aren't aware and if they have not tapped into their own issues, then they're going to transfer those issues, attitudes, and behaviors onto their kids. And being able to understand who you are, that is so important. So important. And so there was another thought I had in my head and I lost it. I had a senior moment. But anyway, go ahead, keep talking. Let me pull up one of your books and we can talk about that.
Yeah, I have another thought here, and I have radical views around parenting and what it means to be a parent. And I believe your true teaching to your children is not what you talk about, is how you treat yourself, how you treat everyone else, especially your spouse, and how you what level of freedom have you been able to unlock in your life? Because I can tell you, you could you could be the biggest teacher, but if you're stuck in a job, you hate going to work every day. What you're really teaching your children is how to become a victim of your life.
Yes. And when you consider a job is one third of your life. And if you hate your job, in my opinion, you hate your life because it's one third of your life. It impacts how you eat, how you sleep, how you relate to other people, how you relate to your children. And so all of this is so important. And Pamela, she says that's why self counseling is very important. Counseling, coaching, and there's a difference between the two. Those things are very important, very important. And I agree with you. Okay.
One thought I want to share is that if you get the grasp of this, if you understand that the way you live your life, your children to connect with you is they need to be like you so their mind feels safe around you. So imagine if there is an angry parent or unaware, then kids to fit into that environment,
Become the
unfortunately,
same way.
they got to pick up some of that or the opposite. Like I went the opposite way, yet I done a full circle and I was stuck in the same patterns after that 30 years. So take this work
Yes,
seriously.
it is serious. And being able to understand, a lot of times parents say my child is so bad, why isn't he doing what I want him to do? And in most cases it's not the child, he's just a reflection of you. I remember I took my son to counseling when he was 2 years old because I knew this boy had a problem. I knew something was wrong with him. Now, bear in mind, I was going through a lot of stress in my life. I mean, I was just leaving an abusive marriage and I was playing the blame game. If it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that, my life wouldn't be this way. And I had to learn. I knew I had to learn. No, if it wasn't for me and the choices that I've made, my life wouldn't be this way. But I took my son to a counselor and I said, something's wrong with him. And she looked at me and she says, well, tell me what's going on with you. And I just let it all out, crying and tripping and telling her all these things that are going on with me. And she looked at me and she said, Miss Thomas, it's not your son, it's you. And he's just picking up on the stress that you're feeling. And so, parents, if you think it's your child that's creating all these problems, you might want to check yourself. You might want to check yourself. I wrote a poem about that, and maybe I'll share it later. But anyway, let's keep on. I'm loving what you're saying here.
So yes, look at your children as little teachers, or who are bringing you a message to unlock the new version of you. And I know we're talking here about children, but as I said before, other challenges in your life, your relationship with dad or mom, and there may be triggers and you are just really having a hard time. These are all for you to heal, because once you heal that part of you that jumps or reacts, well, what's left is emotional freedom, and you would
Yes.
have situations which you could deal with 10 different ways. There's no more
Yes.
pushing my buttons. The outside and external, and I'm talking about people, they won't be in charge of your psychology, how you feel about yourself, what you think, because then you're broken out.
Absolutely. And let me ask you, do you use any PQ techniques or methods in your work?
Well, I'm not too sure what you refer to. My main approach is NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and I have bolted around it a few emotional release techniques. But really, the secret to my breakthroughs and the very high level of success rates, because I do give money back guarantee, which I never had to pay back anyone, is looking at commitment, whether this person is ready to do the work. Not that it's hard, but the readiness to change. And then all we need is just walking them through shifting pretty much usually what happened in the past. Because the brain, think about it like this: you got this wonderful mind or brain, and all it is a wonderful recorder of the past up to this point in time. Well, imagine if you start to use that, what you got in from the past, to create your future. You got real problems, because you will repeat if that's the blueprint that you're going to use. So what we need is to upgrade some of it, rewrite some of the programmings. And I believe if you look at computers today, they are an exact representation of how the mind works. We
Yeah.
had been installed with several programs early on in life and even later on, and some of them are, attached to traumatic events, and that defines now, if there is a trigger or stimuli comes in, how we react or respond. And that leaves us
Absolutely.
no options sometimes, because there has been so much pain before that survival mind takes over, and then your freedom is gone. And the real issue is that you have this wonderful subconscious mind, but it's not designed to make you happy or thrive and excel in life or contribute. No, it has one purpose: survival, to get
Right.
some level of recognition, to feel safe around your tribe or your family, and to get food on the table. If that's what you want, it will be a limited life.
Yes. And so I gotta go to a couple more commercials. I'm gonna play them back to back, and then we'll be right back.
Mama Knows creates high quality products that are available to be used on multiple textures of hair. Her goal is to bridge the gap, to stop people from having to use multiple products, because of families with multiple hair types. Her products are currently being used on men, women, children of all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are available at www.mamaknowsproducts.com. That's www.mamaknowsproducts.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Mama Knows Products, because you know, Mama knows what you need.
Hallelujah.
Hey there, Jason McNamara here, and I'm about to drop something truly game-changing your way. Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 grind? Feeling stuck in obtaining the life you deserve and craving something more? Well, listen up, because I've got something you will not want to miss. Introducing the No More 9-to-5 Club Professional Membership, your ticket to freedom and success in the entrepreneurial world. With our professional membership, you'll get access to weekly coaching sessions, pre-recorded trainings, and a vibrant community of fellow game changers. You get access to technology that will allow you to automate passive income streams, as well as unlock all of our expert-led trainings in the back office so you know where to go for good advice when you need it. You will also use the club to build up a residual income stream with a 2-tier 33% affiliate commission unlocked at this level, allowing you to help people help themselves while generating a residual passive income stream for yourself. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, you can unlock all of this just for a $1.11 donation to our club foundation.
I like this one.
Your first month is on us. So what's holding you back? Click the link below, make your donation, and let's start building the life and business of your dreams together. Here at the No More 9-to-5 Club, we're all about turning dreams into reality and smashing through those glass ceilings.
That's what I'm talking about, Jake.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, we've got the tools and support you need to thrive and evolve. And don't forget to sign up for our bootcamp training. It's the perfect way to kickstart your journey and unlock even more perks. So what are you waiting for? Join the No More 9-to-5 Club today, and let's make those dreams a reality. I can't wait to see you on the inside. You only get one now. Invest it in your better future. Let's make magic happen together.
No more 9 to 5. Let me tell you about this organization. It's a networking organization, a mastermind organization, and an opportunity to look at residual income organization. And they support veterans. So you want to check out nomore9to5club.org and network with like-minded people. Network with people that are trying to do some things with their lives. Even if you are on a job, this is a great opportunity that might lead you to some other options in addition to your job or in as opposed to your job. So you want to check out No More 9 to 5. And let me say, Mama Knows products, let me tell you, these products are exceptional. They are for men, women, boys, and girls of all ethnicities. Shampoos, conditioners, serums, moisturizers, and she just has a whole line of products to help you have more healthier hair. If you want to know more, go to mamaknowsproducts.com. Why? Because Mama knows what you need. Yes. All right. Let me pull up your books here because I want to talk about each of these. And the first one that I'm going to pull up is this: How to Discover Your Authentic Self Faster Than You Ever Dreamed Possible. You want to tell us about this book, please?
This one is giving you my methodology. Has a few exercises in it. I share some of my story, but most importantly, it's about you having that what we call self-reflection and exercises to follow through to pinpoint what gets you stuck. Where are the limitations that seem to play out in your life? Because I believe the first step to big transformations are creating more awareness. about what
Absolutely.
is going on. And this will really help you to find your blind spots. And once you find your blind spots, I have some exercises to shift them. Uh, and obviously, the fastest way I believe is to have a few sessions, because change, and this is a big one that I realized, change does not need to take a long time. Because you've been carrying certain things for decades, it doesn't mean that now you have to work on it for decades. No. Trauma, remember, negative emotions were usually picked up in the very beginning in a 1 second, in a very painful moment in life where you could not process the emotional pain or struggle or abuse, whatever was going on, and you were implanted. And if you're able to find the root, I always bring this example like almost like a garden. If there is weed in your life, if there is weed in your head and heart, what if you can find the root and pull it by the
Awesome.
root? That's how you create lasting change. You could come around with a, cutting, trimming. It's not going to work. They grow back.
Right. So let me ask you, is this a book that people can access on your website, right?
Absolutely, it's free. You can download it. I made it not too long, so you'll be able to digest it, and it's got bite-sized information for you. And also, it will allow you to even more of my free resources that will help you your transformation. Because I believe sometimes it feels like a lot to transform a life, but I believe if these are nice, tiny little steps that you can digest, then you and I always look at change to set up a nice ladder that always gives you the next one step to take, the next one thing to look at, and maybe change or review in your life, so you are taking steps to that new version of you, the authentic version of you who is living life and enjoying every day
Well,
in
let me
emotional.
ask, can you give us at least one or two of the steps that are in the book? And they'll have to get the book to get the rest.
Well, you want to look at or listen to your emotions, because they tell you a lot about what's going on in your life. If you really start to look at your results, you will find that if you get to find out what is your, I call this almost your dwelling place, when there is this love and there's nothing happening in your life, what are the recurring thoughts that are keep coming back at you? Is it, why is this happening to me? Is the thought is, why I have to work so hard? Then obviously these are the limitations that plays out in your life. And if you found them, well, it's time to take them out, because they are messing with your life and result. So the more specifics we get with the limitations that seem to run your life, then you be able to, it's almost like, you know, saying that, oh, my car has a problem, like probably there will be some diagnostics, right? You take down to a mechanic and they will say, is there any noise? Where is the noise coming from? Is it from the tires? Is it something inside? Is it from the back? Is it the exhausts? So you want to know, because otherwise you haven't got a clue where you start your transformation.
That's beautiful. And again, awareness precedes change. An example, if you're a type of person that gets angry all the time, let's talk about that. If you're the type of person that gets angry just on a dime, then reflect back. First of all, take note of each time you are angry and what triggered that anger. Take note of that. And then recognize that you can regulate yourself. You can control yourself. And there are things that you can do to calm yourself so that you're not ending up doing things that you may regret later, because oftentimes when we are angry, we see red. And and then we end up doing things that we regret later. So think about that. What are your triggers? What are the things that causes these negative thoughts to creep in?
Yes, so insightful as you said, because usually each of us create a recipe to get upset. We have exact rehearsals to find our usual emotions like shame or frustration or
Yeah.
fear. And the more you find out, think about it as if you were a science study. Like, let's look at this mind that runs my life and results, and let's see the exact algorithm that takes me to have my 100% anger. And then you'll be surprised that maybe there's a specific person, there is a specific look, there is sometimes smell. Remember, the mind has all this information from the past, and I had
Yes.
discovered very, very unbelievable things where, there was a perfume that set someone straight away because 40 years ago there has been an abusive teacher, and that triggered the mind. Why? Remember, it's a survival mind. Like, if I take you back 100 million years, then you were designed to avoid life-threatening situations. So you needed to know where you're safe, where you're unsafe. So those programs has been designed for you to stay on this planet and maybe reproduce. But the way to do that, then install uh, the survival programming. And unfortunately, we still carry this mind, which is very limiting in many ways, because we do not normally have life and death situations, but this mind doesn't have any other ways of looking at it. It's either black or white and takes everything so personally.
Yes, that's the other thing. And what you're talking about are the misconceived behaviors that we have, the blame game, the shame game, the guilt game, and all these things. And you need to figure out, why am I allowing this to continue to impact me when I'm no longer in the environment or situation that brought me here?
Yes, that is deep. Because, see, this mind does not have a concept of time. This is the problem that we are dealing with. It has been installed 10, 20, 30 years ago, and it
Yes,
reapplies the same usual responses that may not be valid because the
right.
circumstances may have completely changed.
Exactly. But yet, we'll still hear people say something like, well, I've been like this all my life. I can't change.
Yes.
Well, we change by moving forward, or we change by moving back. There's no such thing as standing still and being the way that you've always been, because you're either progressing or you're digressing. And so we need to look, what do I choose to do? Do I choose to continue to live in the back past? Do I choose to continue to allow other people to dictate my self worth
Now, yes, it's a decision to repeat yesterday's and last year's. It's yours every morning, every day.
every
So,
day? It's a choice. It is a choice. Let's look at this other book. I can't believe that the time is going by so fast. Okay, tell us about these self worth principles. And is this a free book as well?
absolutely free. You access it at the resources tab on my page. Also, there's a quick self-worth test you can take, a few minutes. These are designed to shortcut you to, and I don't want to give you my blueprint. I want to challenge you.
To
And this is
create.
what I really love in Buddhism. They say, well, try this and see how it works for you. And because it worked for me does not mean that necessarily it will work for you, but it might save you to probe and try 10 out of 15 different things
Yes.
that you may end up in vicious circles. So Obviously, I wanted to give you what has worked for me, what you might want to consider applying, and then see the results unfolding for you. Because I believe
Awesome.
there are also universal principles, because I was studying religions, I traveled around the world, I was talking to all of these spiritual gurus. So I wanted to bring in the evergreens that seem to just be working all the time. And I started to apply
Wow. And I have one more commercial I need to play before we leave, and then I'll be coming back for us to continue this conversation. So give me 1 second. Let me pull it up.
Welcome to your trauma talk. Wow, you think about it. You will be the spotlight right in the heart of New York City. You have to actually believe it. A lot of you look at me, Ra, and say, Ra, I believe in what you do. I love what you do. So trust me, I am telling you, for a very minimal cost, I am putting you to speak in the heart of the hub of energy, which is in New York City. And guess what? You're coming to tell your trauma talks, and you know where? On Broadway. You know what happens on Broadway? We see the story of Tina Turner. We see her struggles, and we see her trauma story right here on Broadway. This is where you are going to be center staged. And when I tell you that's where you're going to be center stage, that is where you will be center stage. Your trauma is going to be on Broadway, in a theater, right here in beautiful, amazing New York City. Bring it to the stage. Bring that energy. We have a theater of 200 people, but let's just say it's 40 speakers, and 40 speakers in 2 days. If that's the only thing that you meet, 40 people, you did meet people. You did make a connection, and somebody that did not know your trauma talk is going to hear your trauma talk and know who you are deep within and connect with you, because your trauma talk is your truth. Yep, this is what it's about. Your trauma talk is going to help millions, because you are going to connect with millions when you do this. So think about it, just 40 people. But I didn't say that's going to happen, because Ra wants an audience. And if Ra wants an audience, all of you should get an audience as well. So leave that to me. Trust in me, because I am one of you. I can't tell you what to do, but you have to know what you have to do for you. And all I can tell you is, come on, bring it to Broadway. Trust me, you guys are gonna have fun. You all will have fun. This is not a conference room. This is a theater we are speaking about. I really cannot say any more than I have said already. All I know is I'm going to be shaking hands, hugging, and connecting deeper with most of you in person. This is Ra, and I love you all.
Your Trauma Talk, June 13th in New York City on Broadway. And I am honored to be a speaker on this platform in June. If you are interested in coming and hearing the trauma stories that can change your life, then click on the QR code and register today. Your Trauma Talk in New York City, June 13th. Yes, come join me, support me, and be there for me. All right, so we've got 2 seconds. I'm going to give you the floor, and I do want to encourage my audience to please support the Vera Thomas Show by liking, subscribing, and commenting. You can also support me through monetary donations, which are greatly appreciated. And you can do that at, and I'm trying to pull them up. You can do that on Cash App, Instilling Great, $ Instilling Great, or you can go to Venmo at VT1117, or you can Zelle and put in the Vera Thomas Show on Zelle, and you can contribute that way as well. So I really appreciate any support that I can get from anyone. And now I'm going to give you the floor and let you share some last words.
Well, if you've been listening to us and you're looking for the next version of you, a next version of self-worth, I believe, one, you need to entertain the idea that change is possible. Most importantly, change is possible for you, because I didn't believe probably for 20 years that it was possible for me. So these are two big steps. And if you really want to shortcut the process, look for someone who has done the change that you are looking for. But look for that someone who has been able to help others to consistently deliver results from your problem to your solution. We have amazing specialists out there today. And all you need to do at that point is to commit to the process. And if you hire someone to really help you with your challenges and problems, then really keep an observing what's going on, because if there is no change, internal or external, for months and months and months, probably you are wasting your time and money. So I would say look for some kind of guarantees, some kind of security that, hey, I'm not coming to pay again and never see my money and never see my results. So do your due diligence. And this is why I've set my business up to never take money from anyone who didn't get what they wanted. As simple as that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, listen, everybody. If you didn't get anything out of this today, shame on you, because we have poured into you to let you know that your self-worth and being your authentic self may need you to kind of do an assessment of your past to help you understand why you are where you are now, but then to look at what is it that I need to do to make that change happen. Listen, Andre, it's been a pleasure having you on my show. And if you would hold on a minute, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back. Well, see you guys. Oh my goodness. See you guys on next Tuesday. So enjoy your weekend. God bless. Take
The Vera Thomas.